back to my channel, 3 Degrees of Love. It's your girl Alana here. So today I wanted to introduce you to another wonderful creator that I, of course, have gotten to know and love. I've even talked about her decks in my first episode of Love in regards to self-love. Yeah, so if you haven't seen that video that I'm talking about, the first episode of self-love, I would definitely go and check that out. I do have a lot of recommendations on there into decks that I really like working with, as well as books and songs and, you know, other resources. So definitely check that out. If you haven't seen it, I will make sure to leave it in the subscription box. And that would be Kimberly Tsan from Fablesden. She is the creator of Way of the Panda, all 3 editions, as well as the spread machine. Here's the spread machine with her bonus packs and the sparkly Lenormand. So just to say, if you haven't seen Kimberly's channel on here on YouTube, I would definitely recommend you go and check her out. That is Fablesden. You can also check out her website and of course follow her on Instagram. So I had the wonderful opportunity to discuss with her about her success and the creation, and with the focus, of course, on the spread machine cards. What are some of her future plans, and you know, and of course the great uses of this wonderful deck that she has created. So without further ado, I'd like to just turn it over to the interview. I want to thank you guys in advance for stopping by my channel. If you like what you see, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave comments down below what you think of the videos, and especially I'd really like to hear what you guys think about the sort of interviews that I've sort of been doing so far. And you know, if you really enjoy these videos, please of course let me know, and I will be sure to make more with and highlight these fabulous creators that I've come across. It is always a pleasure. So with that being said, I want to say thank you, and I hope that you guys will continue to live in love. So in the words of 3 Degrees of Love, live, listen, and learn. All right, take care. Ciao for now. Bye-bye. Mwah. Well, hi Kim, how are you? Thank you for being here and joining me on my channel. Welcome back everybody to 3 Degrees of Love with me, Alana. So of course, my special guest today is definitely Kimberly Tsan, who is the creator of Way of the Panda, along with the Spread Machine series and the Sparkly Lenormand, and is of course the creator of Fablesden, and just I mean, definitely a fan, if I can even like say, and just to see how much you've accomplished in such a short amount of time has like totally like blown me away, right? And of course I love following you on Instagram and you know all your funny videos and stuff like that, and I'm like, you just like, look at her, she's like a boss, like, you know, and just
thank you, you're too kind. Thank you.
Yeah, and the thing, part of why I wanted to have you and to talk about you, besides the fact that, you know, I'm giddy-headed and, you know, and so curious about all that you have going on, but what really sort of, you know, sort of brought this all around to me, and for even like the channel, is the spread machine. decks that you created, and how useful, and like, you know, like we were just sort of, you know, chatting about a little bit earlier about the fact that, you know, my background in social work and, you know, connecting that with mental health and spirituality and my love for that. But I feel like the Spread Machine series is so influential in that, and the work that you can do when, you know, and sort of bringing that all around.
Yeah.
And of course, so, you know, of course I I jumped right onto the Spread Machine train. I was like totally like took off. I'm like, oh my God. So, I mean, I didn't back the Kickstarter. I don't think I really knew of it then. But once I did, you know, I did discover it, you know, totally. I was like, it was runaway train. So, and of course, you know, me being the geek that I am, I had to get matching Peggy bags to
put
them
in. Awesome.
Yeah. So and just to tell you, so like the main deck is like in here, in the first bag here. And then I have, so of course I like I said, I got the whole collection, right? So, and I just like, even the way that you put it all together, like, I mean, like, look at the box, like, and it's like all my favorite colors, like,
thanks, I appreciate that.
So pretty. Like, and just to tell you how much of a nerd I am, so like when I got it, because the way you boxed it for shipment was just so cute.
Oh, you kept the pom-poms.
I saved the pom-poms and put them in a little baggie so I can save it with the deck. Okay.
Oh my God, that's so adorable.
I thought it was so cute. And I'm just like, so I was a little disappointed because I'm like, well, I have 3 pink, I have 3 blue, but only 2 yellow. I was like, where's the 3rd yellow?
Sorry, I wasn't counting. I didn't give you the extra yellow.
Oh no, it's okay, but it's just funny, right? So like, but like, just, and then of course, what I saw your video when you were revealing it on your channel, right? And like, I like, you're the best. Like, you're squealing everything that you were doing on your channel. I was like right along with you, and I was just like going through the unboxing, and I was like so mesmerized, right? And I was just like, the guidebook is so well written. I love me a really good guidebook. And like,
me too. I'm super picky with guidebooks.
Yeah, and just the way that you sort of like you've organized it, right? Like, you've got the seeker, you've got the focus areas, the light work, shadow work, and then call to action. And then, you know, and then like, that's just, you know, the sort of like the basics, right? We've got boundaries and expansion, success, and processing. And I'm like, this is so great for like just for inner work and reflection and journaling and everything that, you know, when we're talking about mental health and we're talking about, you know, just wellness and stuff like that, like it's amazing. And it couldn't have come at a better time when, you know, we're in the middle of a global pandemic and everyone is at home and we're having to isolate and we're by ourselves.
Yeah.
Why not a better time to, like, you know, do some inner work and self-reflection and all of those things. And not only, you know, are we doing the work, but you've made it fun. Like, it's fun. Like, who doesn't? Well, I mean, there probably are, but people like us are, you know, who are big nerds and tarot fans and things like that. You know, we're using the cards and, you know, shuffling the cards and just being able to, you know, see everything in front of you when you put it out. Like, I mean, I know your premise was to, and I know I'm totally going off and explaining everything. I don't even think I need you for this.
It's okay. You're setting a scene, right?
Yeah, but like, you know, like the fact that I know the premise of the Spread Machine was really for like creating tarot spreads, but it's like so much more than that, right? And I just,
like I said, I'm in awe of it, right? And then you created expansion packs. But like, so yeah, like here's the second bag
I
that
love that you
matches.
got matching bags. So
Yeah.
awesome.
But the thing is, so this bag is even more special because it's the 2-pocket bag. So there's like,
Oh, you can put the 2 expansion packs
yeah,
side by
so both
side.
expansion packs are in
Oh,
here and
that's
they're
so
separated,
neat. I
right?
need to get myself one of those.
Okay, but
Oh my God.
so I'm a nerd out, right? So I have them separate in their own organza bags. It
Oh
didn't
my
come this
God.
way,
And it's
but I put
matching
it
the
in this
colors too. Like,
way. Yeah, and
I
like,
love that.
so it's just so awesome, right? And like I said, like you just, it's this whole like kit, and like, you know, and even when like you're working with clients and like as a social worker and things like that, like what a better way to help people sort of focus, you know, their, you know, things in different categories, and being able to put things into a perspective, and being able to, you know, to really focus and journal about and really dive into what's really going on for them, right?
Yeah.
So like, what I want to know, first question right off the bat, how did you come up with this concept? Like, where did the inspiration come from?
It was kind of like a strike of genius, or and also at the same time it was sort of like I was actually working on a spreads book. You know, I was actually working on a book of tarot spreads, and then before that I was already really in love with spread crafting. I just thought it was like a fun thing to do, and I also thought like, you know, creating spreads is kind of something that people who practice tarot don't really think about, you know. And they're, you know, I'm assuming, but I just kind of feel like at the time when people want to look for a spread, they wouldn't really think about creating one for themselves. And I just always thought like creating spreads is just such a fun, intuitive, creative thing to do. But yeah, I was actually working on like a tarot spreads book, but then all of a sudden I was sitting there and I was like, what if there is a deck and every single card is a spread prompt? And I got really excited about the idea, and I actually started researching a little bit. And I was kind of bummed out that I wasn't the first one to come up with the idea. It was like a bruise to my Aries ego, but you know, but that kind of motivated me, right? I was like, oh my God, then I need to like make it better, or put my, you know, put my own spin on it, and just really develop the idea. And like when I think about like what I wanted tarot to be, or what I use spreads for, it's really to kind of explore different ideas and different ways to kind of do a reading, right? So I really wanted this deck, you know, like you said, to be like a really powerful tool for inner work and to do self-reflection, but it's also combined with like lots of inspired action. So it's not just, you know, it's like a balance between like having all these spare prompts that help you self-reflect and really get to know yourself, and also creating momentum, you know, like after you sort of realize what you need to realize, and after you sort of you know, gain like a better understanding or gain some emotional awareness and mindfulness, you would, you know, there are also spare prompts and cards in the deck to help you move forward and help you decide what to do, and just really like, you know, tap into your personal power and everything. So yeah, so it kind of just came to me, but I think also was just born out of my love for creating spreads. So it was kind of like I did, you know, I created a thing with a lot of passion, and I also really love constructing and organizing things. It's kind of like I think I definitely have an alchemist engineer archetype in me, and then she was just having a lot of fun structuring everything. So yeah, like you can almost say like I kind of created the deck, or just kind of it got to where it needed to be today out of pettiness, because there was already a deck out there. I was like, okay, I need to make the spread positions like so different. So I was like, on pettiness. No, just kidding. But yeah, that's kind of how I came up with the idea of the deck. It was kind of like just, you know, kind of like a strike of genius. At the same time, it was sort of everything that I was already working on kind of just came together.
Wow, like I said, that's like amazing. And like I even like how, yeah, I'm a nerd, so I keep the little plastic thing in it.
Oh my God.
Back in my thing. But like you've even included like a blank card that like, you know, so people can personalize it for themselves, right? And like whatever may not be, right, it you can add that. But like not only do we have the guidebook, but we even got like the quick start guide, like that's like awesome. And like look at the purple edging, like that's just
Ooh, I love that purple.
ooh, and the cards feel so nice. Like like for the card nerds out there, like what is the GSM that you use?
That's 350 GSM, and it's also matte lamination. So I think usually people call it like silky matte or pearl matte or something. It's kind of like rose petal finish, but just a little less stickier than the actual rose petal. The box is rose petal.
I can feel that, but like the backs are just so cute and everything. And then of course, like the colors, like everything is like its an own like sort of color category kind of thing. And like just sort of throughout. Yeah. So and then the biggest nerd is every time I use my deck, I always put it back in like sequential order. So anyways, that, I
actually open up like 2 decks for myself. One I can just shuffle and it will be completely randomized, and the other one, like all the categories are intact, because like I just know it's gonna bug me, so I'm just like, I'm gonna open 2 decks. I just have 2 decks.
Like and then so you did this, like, I mean, and then you didn't just stop there, like you created expansion packs, like explain more a little bit more of the expansion packs, like how and sort of where that came from.
Ooh, okay. So originally I actually only had plans to make one of them. I was actually gonna only make Quest, right? Because I always love gamification. I love talking about tarot cards or just my life, using a lot of metaphors such as the journey, the adventure. And I just wanted kind of just create it selfishly. I was like, I want like all these spread prompts for myself and just share it with other people. And I just thought it would be a fun idea. So
and of course you're a gamer too, right?
Yeah, like I love gaming. I have a Switch, it's just sitting right there. I need to go check out some of the Black Friday sales and see what I can pick up later. But but yeah, that was like I planned to make Quest. That was kind of part of the plan, but change kind of just happened, kind of just dropped out of the sky, because when I was creating or preparing to launch this campaign, I think it was like back in April, it was the time when like a lot of shit was happening, like so many social upheavals. And then I really created that because of what happened to George Floyd. I just feel like the collective shadow was being poked and there was just so much injustice in the world, and I just feel like I wanted to really channel that and create something that's useful and create something that we can use to address our biases, the triggers, the prejudices that we have, the shadows that we have. And so that deck actually wasn't in the plan. It just kind of came to me. Like I remember when I was trying to process everything, I just had this idea for that expansion pack for change. And then I pretty much like wrote all the spread positions in like 5 minutes. Like it just kind of came out.
Wow.
So it was kind of my way of processing kind of my sadness and my anger with the whole thing, and I wanted to do something constructive with it. So yeah, I'm really happy that I did it. And another part of me is like, I got so burnt out trying to do 3 decks in like just a couple of months, but I'm really glad I just finished it and created that thing. So
that's really awesome. Like like I think to the way that, so you have the overall deck, right?
Yeah.
But then you've made these sort of minier ones that are a little bit more have a different focus. So like Quest, the idea of that, like, especially to connect with people who who are gamers and understand the whole lingo and everything like that. Excuse me, that's another way for them to sort of personalize their work, right? And then as you said, like, change was created because of the stuff that was going on in the world, and sort of tackling some of those issues and things like that, and and maybe how how that makes us feel, and and stuff like that. So that's really awesome. And I mean, I've heard inklings like from on Instagram and stuff like that, and you are planning on making more expansion packs.
Yes. I totally am. I'm like, I was actually kind of excited by the idea of expansion packs. I'm just like, I can just keep making them forever. It's like every time I have an idea, I can just make it into like an expansion pack. So I do have plans to make more. There's one that I think there's two that I'm kind of like toying with. One of them is definitely probably going to be called Chronicles. It's one for writers and creative storytellers um and I think also just creative and artists and visionary. So that's one. And another one I'm thinking of, it kind of has the theme of productivity, for worker, not worker, like, kind of like more career focused, business focused, or dreamer focused. It's kind of like a
Well, like worker bees, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like that, like the busybodies. So the well, workaholic sort
Yeah,
of
I was
thing.
just thinking of that word. Yeah, workaholics, perfectionist. Because I'm like a recovering perfectionist and also recovering workaholic. So I think maybe that one, like speaking of mental health earlier, right? I think like that one is gonna have a whole section just addressing mental health, just because like, workaholism, perfectionism, sometimes it's like glorified in our culture. We really praise people for working so hard all the time. And then we have this guilt and shame about caring for ourselves and taking a break or just taking it at a slower pace. And that's something I lived through last year. It brought me a lot of pain and health issues. So I think that was, yeah, I think maybe I might make that expansion pack first, just because it's really close to my heart. I just feel like, we're pushing ourselves to the brink of insanity and just destroying our health, just to prove something, just to work so hard, just to feel like we need to do that to deserve something. So like, yeah, I really want to just kind of channel that in that particular expansion pack, just like bring healing when it comes to perfectionism and anxiety and things like that.
And I think that expansion pack, like hearing you talk about that it really means a lot to me too, because sort of what my journey has been like, thus to this point that it's I end up having a burnout and sort of losing my job, and how all of that sort of fell apart for me. And the fact that there's, as you talk about the stigma in the workplace, and one of the things for me when it comes to mental health in the workplace, the support around about mental health in the workplace is that there's a big disconnection there. And not only did I experience that personally for myself, but I see that a lot even too, just observation with other people. And and for me personally, it was really tough, because again, being in the field of service, and service to other people, and working with various clients that have different, whether it be anxiety issues, social anxiety, things like that, mental health, brain injuries, things like that. We're being in a workplace where our focus is service and people and understanding people and being supportive. The idea of supporting our workers isn't there, right? The support when your workers are breaking down from whatever may be going on in their lives, and combining that with the workplace and the demands of being a good worker. There's a big disconnect. And that was the real downfall for me, and the heartbreak for me. So so to hear you talk about making an expansion to focus on all of that, and doing that sort of inner work is amazing to me. Like it means a lot. So if as you said, you're planning on making that first, like, yes, please. Like, what like, I can't wait for that. Right. And so now I want to know, how did you even get into tarot? Like, what was that like how did you know tarot was something for you? Because not only did you create this, but this is actually like, this is a project that came afterwards. You already created Way of the Panda.
Yeah, that was my first deck baby.
Yeah, right.
The baby.
So how did you get into that?
Mhm. Ooh, I just want to quickly respond to what you were saying earlier about your workplace. It's so
Yeah.
ironic that you're supposed to be providing the support system for people, but then you as a social worker have no support system in the workplace. That's, yeah, I can
Yeah.
understand why you feel heartbroken by that. That just like what, you know? Um, but yeah, so how I got into tarot, I think I was always really drawn to the idea of like magical cards, you know, like in anime, there's like all these magical girls, they're throwing cards and it's like super sparkly, super magical. And I just thought it was such a cool idea. And I think like when I was like maybe in high school, a friend's mom gifted me a tarot deck, but I think it was like one of the really ugly classical ones, and I didn't really enjoy the art. And I remember the deck that I had a duplicate in it, so it wasn't even like a complete deck. And then yeah, I didn't really get into tarot then, but eventually I think when I was in university, I think yeah, it's like same, you know, kind of like a mental health thing, because I was really struggling with the pressure of, you know, academia and a lot of anxiety with people because I was living on campus and it was just like a lot. And I think I was also struggling with some stuff at home. Like I was having a hard time with my brother. Everything's fine now. We're like good friends. But at the time there was just like a lot going on. And then I think it was sort of time to kind of start like you know, getting to know myself and start taking care of my mental health and just begin somewhere. And I kind of stumbled upon like Kellyanne Maddox's channel. You know, she has this whole tarot trainee course. I watched her course and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know tarot cards can be used to like to do self-reflection and to do inner work. You know, my impression of tarot at the time was like, oh, fortune telling, right? Like, you know, I didn't know like there's this whole personal development aspect to it. So I kind of just like fell into it and it just clicked. There must be like angels choir going off like, oh, it just felt really right because, you know, tarot is all about storytelling. And I studied English back in university. It was just such a good like perfect match. Like, I just feel like it really reflects who I am as a person. I really enjoy art and I love symbolism and metaphors and I love, you know, storytelling obviously, and then it was just such an amazing portal to my inner world and getting to understand who I was and who I am still. And yeah, so that's kind of how I started learning tarot and or started getting into tarot. And then I wanted to create Way of the Panda tarot because I couldn't find a tarot deck that is panda themed that I really loved. So I thought like, well, maybe I should create one. And then a lot of people around me were encouraging me to make one. Just like, yeah, just make one. Like, so that's how I started making Way of the Panda tarot. I think there was like one Panda tarot out there by Lowe's Scarabeo, but I didn't really enjoy the art. It was kind of classical looking, and then some of the Asian images in there were like a little cliche. You know, I feel like it was like, oh, it's supposed to be in mythical China, but there you see like Japanese pandas and like Arabic pandas and Muslim pandas and Indian pandas. I'm just like, this is a little culturally inaccurate. So I didn't really like that deck. I was like, I really wanted one in watercolor and where the pandas are just, you know, looking like their natural selves and are super cute. So yeah, that's kind of how I got started with tarot, and also is how I got started with like creating a deck.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
That is like really amazing. And like, so just like going back to like, even like, you know, we're talking about all the stuff that you've accomplished in such a short space of time. Like, yeah, I remember you were just saying that, you know, you created like this, like the spread machine was created what, in like 3 months, you said? Was that how long it actually took you from like start to finish?
Oh, it took a little longer. I started, and maybe it took like longer than 3 months, but it was pretty short amount of time. Probably, oh man, I don't even know. Like I started creating maybe around March, maybe 6 to 7 months, because I was also campaigning in the middle of it. And I was finishing up with the expansion packs and all the guidebooks, and also just after the campaign. So, well, I guess less than a year. It was a short time. It was crazy. Not doing that again.
It's like crazy. And then you're like, yeah, and I'm just remembering, and you were like, yeah, that was so exhausting. But then you're like, you were so exhausted, but then you decided, I'm gonna create Sparkly Lenormand on top of that. Like, you're exhausted. But you just decided that you were right off the bat gonna create a Lenormand deck just out of like, huh?
Oh my God. Okay. The Sparkly Lenormand was actually my decompressing deck. Like I just needed something like I just wanted to draw and just be brainless. And I just was like, oh, you know how the Lenormand system is like a little less complicated to draw compared to a tarot deck. It's kind of just objects. So I was just kind of using that as a prompt for drawing. And that one kind of just came out. Like I wasn't planning to make Sparkly Lenormand. I was like, I needed to draw something to decompress. And I got made fun of it for that. People are like, wait, so you take time off working by working? Like what? Like
What?
that's a fire. I know it's now that I think of it, it's kind of a weird story, but at the time I just wanted to doodle and just not think about. I think it was because Spread Machine was so it was creative, but it was more heady, you know, it was more conceptual. Like it's more like it's a text-based deck. So I just wanted to draw something cute on the side. So I just ended up drawing Sparkly Lenormand and I ended up finishing it. And I was like, well, I'm printing Spread Machine, might as well print Sparkly Lenormand at the same time. So just out came several deck babies. So that was a happy accident, I guess.
So that's awesome. But like, yeah, like, so I'm assuming that's also why there wasn't a guidebook with that one, right? Because like that would have been extra work too to top it all up. So
yeah,
you did, but you are planning on doing a guidebook, right? Like as you said, well, you didn't say it now, but I know of this because you said it before previously and Instagram and whatever. Yeah, because like I really enjoy a really good guidebook, and your guidebooks are like amazing. So you know, I held off on Sparkly Lenormand with the hope that there would be a guidebook that would come along with that eventually. So and so that is happening.
Yeah, I'm actually working with a friend for the guidebook. So I commissioned someone to write a guidebook for me. But her vibe is very similar to mine. We're very quirky. We're both very intelligent. So it's very much in line with like what Fablesden is about. But yeah, I just feel like I need to hire someone who knows Lenormand more than I do. I just feel like I practice Lenormand, I do readings, but I don't feel comfortable actually writing a guidebook to guide people. So I thought I would hire someone who knows more than me to do it. But yeah, guidebook is coming, and it's also going to be cute with adorable puns and like really great information. So it's not going to be from me, but I'm sure you will enjoy it too, because she's a really good writer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry, what was your question?
Well, I was sort of wondering, like, what else can we expect from you? Like, I know we talked about the Spread Machine, right? We you know, briefly talked on Way of the Panda and the Sparkly Lenormand and the guidebooks, but like, what else can we expect from Kimberly Tsan, who's like a powerhouse, like creative machine?
Oh my God. Okay, so I already am working on Way of the Panda Oracle with my artist. We're like, I think almost halfway there, and we got maybe close to 20 cards done, I think. So it's going to be called a League of Pandas. They're also going to be pandas from the Panda Kingdom. And this deck is more action oriented. It's more like a manifestation dream, like sort of like a, you know, like a very like epic legendary deck, because, you know, it's called a League of Pandas. And the idea is basically every single card is like a superhero panda with a specific set of powers that belongs to this league, and they have like powers to help us achieve something, understand something. So it's kind of like Avengers, but all pandas, you know. They're all like superheroes, and I'm really excited about this deck. There's like a lot of you know, amazing panda characters. And I think like, even though they're not human figures, but I think it's a great it's a deck with a lot of great representation of different sort of subcultures. Like there's a magical girls kind of Sailor Moon panda. There's a vampire queen panda. There's a cowboy gunslinger panda. There's this panda called Hades. He's kind of like the dark shadow or underworld panda. There's also like, there's a rainbow panda for the LGBTQ plus community, and I'm really excited about this deck. Like, so that's coming, that's happening. I'm probably gonna launch it next year on Kickstarter. And I'm finishing the guidebook first. When I launch Way of the Panda Tarot, I wrote the guidebook sort of like after the campaign, and I'm not doing that again.
But that, and why is that? Like, what happened? Like, was it a bit of a nightmare? Like,
Yeah, I was just like, I was stressed out about the deadline. I mean, like, I think people on like, I'm sure people would have understood if I just say like, I want to kind of just make sure the guidebook is good. But what happened was like, I wrote like, I think over 100 pages of the guidebook before the campaign. I thought I could kind of just finish everything up during the campaign and a little bit after the campaign. But like, I ended up rewriting the whole thing because I really hated my first draft.
oh boy.
Because like I think when I first wrote it, I kind of wrote it as like a more standard kind of guidebook. It's like, oh, the symbolism on this card is this. I was like, so boring. I really wanted to innovate and just kind of have more panda spirit in the guidebook. So I rewrote the whole thing and I found the voice of the book, which was like, oh, it's just a bunch of pandas with their unique stories and lore, and they all have character names. And I really loved that idea much better. So I decided to scratch my first draft and rewrite the whole thing. Glad I did that, but also not happy that I tried to cram that after the campaign in 3 months, because I have to edit the book and do the design of the book, everything by myself. And that was insane. So, so this time I'm going to finish it before the campaign. So I don't have the pressure of like, you know, of having that deadline. Right. Yeah.
And so, because when you created Way as a Panda, like, so you have like, there's the deck has its own guidebook, but then you have like a bigger guidebook.
That's the book I rewrote.
Wow. So like, and so how does the bigger guidebook differ from the smaller one? I know more information, but like, if you want, like, share exactly like what the difference is between the two.
So the small guidebook is more like a really quick reference book with keywords and definitions and also some cute panda messages. So if you want like a quick lookup, you can like look at the smaller guidebook. It also has some basic information on the structure of tarot. So it's like a good beginner's like basics kind of little guidebook. And the big guidebook, which is the book of pandas, it's actually more story based. So let's say you pull the card magician, you look at the small guidebook, it's going to tell you like, oh, if it's like in the light attributes or upright, then it means like creativity, manifestation, la la la. And they'll have like a cute panda message. But if you look at the big book, it's a full chapter. Well, not a full chapter, just like a full section of like the magician's name is Pandolph. And this is what he does in his spare time. This is what he can help with. These are some of his quotes. And this is like what he's up to, and then this is his message for you. So it's like you know, it's like this whole story about Pandolph and like how he got his powers, or like what's his favorite spell, or how he can help you, and if you want to borrow his power, like what can you do to kind of summon him. And there's also like I created original tarot spreads to go with every single major arcana card, so it's just filled with spreads. And the big guidebook has a lot of other stuff too, like it has a panda personality quiz, it has a lot of exercises in it. So just like a meatier like guide to the panda kingdom guidebook. So it's like very infused with storytelling and characters and other fun stuff.
Very, very nice. And so with the Oracle, is it gonna be like the similar, like are you gonna do like a separate guidebook as well? Like it's gonna come with its own guidebook, like mini guidebook, I would say, right? Deck book, and then you're gonna do a bigger guidebook as well.
Yep, that's the plan. Yeah, I'm gonna have like a quick reference, smaller guidebook, and a bigger guidebook with all the lores, all the stories. And I really like, I'm a writer at heart, so I really do enjoy writing the guidebooks and just sharing the stories that I have. You know, because like that one card is sort of like a portal just to the, I guess, the archetype. But I know when I create, there's just so much storytelling and a lot of ideas behind it. So I really just like my deck needs to have a guidebook. It needs to have a small guidebook and a big guidebook because there's just so much I want to share. So it's got to be a complete set.
Nice. So, and when I know you said next year, but do we have like a more sort of approximate time frame as to when to look out for the Kickstarter?
I'm thinking maybe I'm aiming for summer, But just to be safe, in case I need more time, it might come out maybe around October, like let's say fall. I really,
Okay.
if I can get everything done by, by then, and then I'm going to launch it in summer because summer is a great time for launching. Just lots of excitement and stuff. But probably safe bet would be like fall around October-ish, close to winter. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So hopefully everything is gonna, follow the timeline, but I'm a little more relaxed about the timeline thing now. I don't need something to happen like on the dot. I'm just gonna do my best and let the universe take care of the rest.
Very nice. Well, oh my God, like this was so amazing. I thank you so much for doing this with me. Like I just I can't even like this is just so awesome. Like I said, like you are a powerhouse, and just the fact that you've even like and like so much work in such a short space of time, like I still can't wrap my head around it, and it's just so amazing.
Me
like
neither.
It's just,
Me neither.
you are amazing, and
Thank you.
I cannot wait to see what like I said, what more you have coming. Like I know so far from what you've talked about, it's already exciting, and I can't wait. And so yeah, and like if you're like the Spud Machine Oracle and stuff like that is still available, right? Like on your site. And right now I know because you're on technically the 3rd edition of Way of the Panda, right? Because you did a Kickstarter, which was exclusive to Kickstarter, but then you also did one that was just for like regular release, right? And then
so I guess 3rd edition. Yeah, I got the Kickstarter edition, the Dream edition, and then I vamped up the design, so now it's the Imagine edition. So yeah, 3rd edition.
Wow.
Wow.
And can we expect that we're gonna get more editions of Way of the Panda, do you think?
Oh, yes. I think down the road, I want to definitely print like a deluxe edition and bring back all the bonus cards and maybe throw in some new ones in there. I'm also adding new sections to the big guidebook. So I'm always creating, reinventing, going back to my old creations and just adding stuff because the pandas are just always growing with me, especially when I was going through my perfectionist extreme burnout phase. One of the best things about pandas, their animal medicine is joy and relaxation, just being in the moment and not worry about proving anything. So yeah, pandas are just always journeying with me, and there's always new stuff from my old stuff and new stuff that's new. So it's never ending. There's definitely going to be more additions down the road.
Very nice. And do you think you'll create any other like tarot decks or anything like that, or like?
Yes,
because I know you've
so
done
many.
Panda Universe.
I have my entire like lifetime planned out with Grace.
Oh my God.
I want to make a cat deck for sure. Like I already have I have the world. Like the world is alive in my head already. I have most of the characters from that deck. I just feel like I need because Panda, the spirit of the Panda came really easily to me. It was just sort of a reflection of who I was and am still. Cats are a little different, the temperament are a little different. I kind of feel like it's still being downloaded in my body, but a cat deck is definitely on a horizon. I'm not sure when, but yeah, but a cat deck is coming. So many decks are coming. I'm also making like a mental health robo deck. Like,
oh my God.
So many. I'm also writing books. Like, I mean, if only there were like 10 of me, we could just all do things at the same time. That would be great.
That would be your superpower.
Oh my God. Yeah, I wish that were true.
If you were a superhero, that would be your superpower. You would just multiply, and then all of them will just be making all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and like that's like awesome. And like so pandas, like of course we know pandas are your thing. Like it's like it's what it's what the like your first deck was about. Like if anybody who knows you, like all we gotta do is just look behind you right now and we see your bed is like full of pandas.
Yep.
Panda heads.
All pandas. Pandas here, more pandas on my desk, everywhere.
How did this whole connection with pandas come about? Like, was this ever something ever since childhood? Like,
Mhm. Yeah, when I was a kid, I think pandas are just super cute, and I'm Chinese. You know, pandas are sort of considered the national treasure by China. I was born in Taiwan, but we just share this sort of love for pandas. And when
mhm.
I was a kid, I remember my aunt took me to the department store and got me this super cute panda plushie. And I loved it so much. And it was kind of funny because my brother saw that plushie and he loved it so much too. So he spat on it. So so it made me give it to him. And my aunt was like, okay, I'll just give you another one. We went back to the department store, but it was like out of stock. Anyway, so that kind of started this whole panda thing. We just kept getting more and more panda plushies and then just like fall deeper and deeper in love with pandas. And pandas are just so cute. Like if you look at their videos, it's like depression cured. Like, I mean, I'm not saying it can actually cure depression, but it's just they're just such a joy. And I just feel really connected with them. And then when I finally started researching for the deck and I really, started watching a lot of footages of pandas for like scientific purposes,
Yeah.
I just really feel connected to what they represented and just how they behave. Like they're just such a bundle of joy. Like we just need that in this super busy, hyper productive, extremely anxious world. We just need more preciousness from pandas. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about pandas.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this with me. And I mean,
No problem.
like I said, you're a powerhouse, and I cannot wait to see what you have coming in the future. And yeah, so thank you again for all your creation and
Thank you
just
for
everything
having
that
me.
you have to offer this world. You're super amazing. You're super talented, and I can't say anything more that like
Thank
you're
you.
just
I appreciate you so much. Thank you for saying that. That
and
really means a lot that the things I'm creating are reaching people's hearts and people are enjoying. And I'm super grateful for that. Thank you.
well, of course. So yeah, and thank you for joining me on my channel today and
Thank
just
you
sort
for
of
inviting me.
having this discussion. It's so amazing, and I love you. And
I
yeah,
love you too.
so and of course, I want everybody to follow you on for Fablesden. Like you do have a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and you are active on Instagram. So and any other social media stuff that you have that you want to like bring highlight to that you have.
I think those two are my big ones, like YouTube, Instagram. I have a TikTok, but it's kind of dead. I'm mostly on Instagram and YouTube. People can also check out my website. I have a lot of blog posts there and some useful tarot resources and other fun stuff, fablesden.com. That's about it. I don't have Twitter, do I? No, I don't have Twitter. Twitter is like not enough characters for this blabbermouth.
But I will definitely have everything linked below so that
Yeah.
so people can check everything out.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, so thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you again soon.
Yeah, I'm down anytime if you want to hang virtually or just DM or whatever. Like always down for chat. So
Awesome.
yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.